Bible in a Year Live, a chronological project, week 29, day 2, Common English Bible. Shouldn't you fear me? Declare this to the people of Jacob, announce it to Judah. Listen, you foolish and senseless people, who have eyes but don't see, and ears but don't hear. Shouldn't you fear me, declares the Lord, and tremble before me, the one who set the shoreline for the sea, an ancient boundary that it can't pass? Though its waves may rise and roar, they can't pass the limits I have set. And yet the people have stubborn and rebellious hearts. They turn and go their own way. They don't say it in their hearts. Let's fear the Lord our God, who provides rain in autumn and spring, who assures us of a harvest in its season. Your wrongdoing has turned these blessings away. Your sin has robbed you of good. Criminals are found among my people. They set traps to catch people, like hunters lying in wait, like a cage full of birds, so their houses are full of loot. No wonder they are rich and powerful, and have grown fat and sleek. To be sure, their evil deeds exceeds all limits, and yet they prosper. They are indifferent to the plight of the orphan, reluctant to defend the rights of the poor. Shouldn't I punish such acts? Declares the Lord. Shouldn't I repay that nation for its deeds? An awful, a terrible thing has happened in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, the priests rule at their sides, and my people love it this way. But what will you do when the end comes? Prepare for war. Escape, people of Benjamin. Get out of Jerusalem. Blow the trumpet in Tekoa. Sound the alarm in Beth Hakerem. For disaster looms from the north, massive devastation. You are like a lovely pasture, daughter Zion. Shepherds come to her with their flocks. They pitch their tents around her and graze in their place. Prepare for battle against her. Get ready. Let's attack by noon. Oh no, daylight is fading, and the evening shadows lengthen. Get ready. Let's attack by night and destroy her fortress. The Lord of heavenly forces proclaims, cut down her trees and build siege ramps against Jerusalem. This city must be held accountable, for there's nothing but oppression in her midst. As a well brings forth fresh water, she brings forth evil. Violence and destruction are heard within her. Injury and wounds are ever before me. Hear me out, Jerusalem, or else I'll turn away from you and reduce you to ruins, a land unfit to live in. Unresponsive people. This is what the Lord of heavenly forces says. From top to bottom, let them harvest the remaining few in Israel. Pick clean every last grape on the vine. To whom can I speak and warn? How can I get someone's attention? Their ears are shut tight, so they won't hear. They are ashamed of the Lord's word and take no pleasure in it. But I am filled with the Lord's rage, and am tired of holding it in. Pour it out on the children in the streets, and on the youths gathered together. Husband with wife will be trapped, as will those old and gray. Their homes will be turned over to others, their fields and wives as well. I will stretch out my hand against the people of this land, declares the Lord. From the least to the greatest, each is eager to profit. From prophet to priest, each trades in dishonesty. They treat the wound of my people as if it were nothing. All is well, they insist, when in fact nothing is well. They should be ashamed of their detestable practices, but they have no shame. They don't even blush. Therefore, they will fall among the fallen and stumble when I bring disaster, declares the Lord. The Lord proclaims, stop at the crossroads and look around. Ask for the ancient paths. Where is the good way? Then walk in it and find a resting place for yourselves. But you said, we won't go. Still, I have appointed watchmen to warn you. But you said, we won't listen. Therefore, pay attention, nations. Take notice, assembly. What is ahead of them? Pay attention, earth. I'm bringing disaster upon my people, the fruit of their own devices, because they have ignored my words and they have rejected my teaching. What use to me is incense from Sheba, or sweet cane from a faraway land. Your entirely burnt offering won't buy your pardon. Your sacrifices won't appease me. Therefore, the Lord proclaims, I am putting obstacles before this people, and both parents and children will stumble over them. Neighbor and friend alike will perish. Panic-stricken Zion. The Lord proclaims, an army is on the move from the northern regions. A great nation is roused from the ends of the earth. Equipped with bow and spear, they are cruel. They show no mercy. Their horsemen sound like the roaring sea, arrayed in battle formation against you, daughter Zion. We have heard reports of them and are panic-stricken. Distress overwhelms us, pain like that of a woman in labor. Don't go out into the field. Don't walk on the road. The enemy's sword terrorizes at every turn. My people, put on funeral clothes and roll in ashes. Weep and wail as for an only child, because the destroyer will suddenly descend upon us. Prophet as tester. I have made you a tester of metals to examine my people, to know and prove their ways. They are tin and iron. They are headstrong and rebellious. They live to slander. They act corruptly, every last one. The bellows roar, the lead is consumed, yet the refining fails, the impurities remain. They are called rejected silver, for the Lord has rejected them. In the 18th year of King Josiah's rule, he sent the secretary Shaphan, Azaliah's son, and Meshullam's grandson, to the Lord's temple with the following orders. Go to the high priest Hilkiah. Have him carefully count the money that has been brought to the Lord's temple and that has been collected from the people by the doorkeepers. It should be given to the supervisors in charge of the Lord's temple, who in turn should pay it to those who are in the Lord's temple repairing the temple, the carpenters, the builders, and the masons. It should be used to pay for lumber and quarried stone to repair the temple, but there is no need to check on them regarding the money they receive, because they are honest workers. The high priest Hilkiah told Shaphan the secretary, I have found the instruction scroll in the Lord's temple. Then Hilkiah turned the scroll over to Shaphan, who read it. Shaphan the secretary then went to the king and reported this to him. Your officials have released the money that was found in the temple and have handed it over to those who supervise the work in the Lord's temple. Then Shaphan the secretary told the king, Hilkiah the priest has given me a scroll, and he read it out aloud before the king. As soon as the king heard what the instruction scroll said, he ripped his clothes. The king ordered the priest Hilkiah, Shaphan's son Ahikam, Maacah's son Akbor, Shaphan the secretary, and Asaiah the royal officer as follows. Go and ask the Lord on my behalf, and on behalf of the people, and on behalf of all Judah concerning the contents of this scroll that has been found. The Lord must be furious with us because our ancestors failed to obey the words of this scroll and do everything written in it about us. So Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam, Akbor, Shaphan, and Asaiah went to the prophetess Huldah. She was married to Shallum, Tikvah's son, and Harhas's grandson, who was in charge of the wardrobe. She lived in Jerusalem in the 2nd district. When they spoke to her, she replied, This is what the Lord, Israel's God, says. Tell this to the man who sent you to me. This is what the Lord says. I am about to bring disaster on this place and its citizens. All the words in the scroll that Judah's king has read. My anger burns against this place, never to be quenched, because they deserted me and have burnt incense to other gods, angering me by everything they have done. But also say this to the king of Judah, who sent you to question the Lord. This is what the Lord, Israel's God, says about the message you've just heard. Because your heart was broken and you submitted before the Lord when you heard what I said about this place and its citizens, that they will become a horror and a curse, and because you ripped your clothes and cried before me, I have listened to you, declares the Lord. That's why I will gather you to your ancestors, and you will go to your grave in peace. You won't experience the disaster I'm about to bring on this place. Josiah repairs the temple. In the 18th year of his rule, after he had purified the land and the temple, Josiah sent Azaliah's son Shaphan, Maaseiah the mayor of the city, and Joahaz's son Joah to the secretary to repair the Lord his God's temple. When they came to the high priest Hilkiah, they delivered the money that had been collected in God's temple by the Levitical gatekeepers from Manasseh, Ephraim, and the rest of Israel, as well as from Judah, Benjamin, and the residents of Jerusalem. They handed it over to the supervisors in charge of the Lord's temple, who in turn paid it to those working on repairing and restoring the Lord's temple. They then gave it to the carpenters and the builders to pay for quarried stone and lumber for rafters and beams in the buildings the kings of Judah had neglected. The men worked conscientiously under the supervision of Jahath and Obadiah, who were Levites descended from Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam from the Kohathites. The Levites, all of whom were accomplished musicians, were also in charge of the laborers and all the workers, no matter what their jobs, while some of the Levites served as scribes, officials, and guards. The instruction scroll. While they were bringing out the money that had been brought into the Lord's temple, Hilkiah the priest found the instruction scroll that the Lord had given through Moses. Hilkiah told the secretary Shaphan, "I have found the instruction scroll in the Lord's temple." Then Hilkiah turned the scroll over to Shaphan, who brought it to the king with this report: "Your servants are doing everything you've asked them to do. They have released the money that was found in the Lord's temple and have handed it over to the supervisors and the workers." Then the secretary Shaphan told the king, "The priest Hilkiah has given me a scroll," and he read it out aloud before the king. As soon as the king heard what the instruction scroll said, he ripped his clothes. The king ordered Hilkiah, Shaphan's son Ahikam, Micah's son Abdon, the secretary Shaphan, and the royal officer Asaiah as follows: "Go and ask the Lord on my behalf and on behalf of those who still remain in Israel and Judah concerning the contents of this scroll that has been found. The Lord must be furious with us because our ancestors failed to obey the Lord's word and do everything written in this scroll." So Hilkiah and the royal officials went to the prophetess Huldah. She was married to Shallum, to Kohath's son, and Hasraz's grandson, who was in charge of the wardrobe. She lived in Jerusalem in the 2nd district. When they spoke to her, she replied, "This is what the Lord, Israel's God, says. Tell this to the man who sent you to me. This is what the Lord says: I am about to bring disaster on this place and its citizens, all the curses written in the scroll that they have read to Judah's king. My anger burns against this place, never to be quenched, because they have deserted me and have burned incense to other gods, angering me by everything they have done. But also say this to the king of Judah, who sent you to question the Lord. This is what the Lord, Israel's God, says about the message you have just heard. Because your heart was broken and you submitted before the Lord when you heard what he said against this place and its citizens, and because you ripped your clothes and cried before me, I have listened to you, declares the Lord. I will gather you to your ancestors, and you will go to your grave in peace. You won't experience the disaster I'm about to bring on this place and its citizens." When they reported Huldah's words to the king,